Thank you, Mr. Chairman. My name is Anthony Graves. I'm here representing myself, and I support the bill.
Please proceed, sir.
Yes, sir. Back in 1994, I was wrongfully convicted and sentenced to death for a crime I knew absolutely nothing about. Now, you say it's just bad luck, but I can tell you that it wasn't, because 10 years after I had been down there, we found out that the prosecutor had evidence that suggested otherwise, that I was indeed innocent, that the man that they brought up there to lie on me had been telling them all along, that man is innocent. But you know what they did? They went and arrested his wife, charged her with capital murder, locked her up for 2 months, then let her out and told her to keep going, don't say nothing about the case. And then they went to him and said, look, if you don't give us the story against Mr. Graves, then we're going to go back and we're going to prosecute your wife, because there's no statute of limitation on capital murder. So according to this man, he said he felt like he was between a rock and a hard place. Here it was, he knew he lied on Mr. Graves, but he's been in jail for 2.5 years. And now they talk about they're going to go after my wife if I don't lie on Mr. Graves. So I did the lesser of the two evils. I lied on Mr. Graves. And as a result, my kids lost their father for 18.5 years. They was 7, 8, and 9 when this happened to me. And every year they would come down there, and I would see them. They would be 10, they would be 11, they would start getting a little facial hair. And then when I got out, I was a grandfather. My kids now had kids. I missed all of that, man. All because someone decided to overreach. Someone decided that they wanted a victory more than justice. Someone decided that because I couldn't afford justice, that I'd get what I deserved. And to them, that was the death penalty for something I did not even do. I am coming here today because I don't want you to think that I'm asking you guys to be against the death penalty. I really don't care. I don't care what your position is on the death penalty. That's not the narrative that should be driving this conversation. Does the death penalty work? Ask yourself that. Does it work? I'm exonerated number 138. I was exonerated 4 years ago. We're already up to exonerate 146 and counting. Does it work? Can you go home at night feeling comfortable knowing that we have a death penalty that is executing innocent people, that are convicting innocent people, and yet you're not doing anything about it? Do you know how embarrassing it is for me? I travel all over this world. I speak all over. I just was at Texas Tech yesterday. But I travel this globe. And people always ask me one thing. What did Texas do when they found out that you was innocent? I don't know how to respond to that other than say they gave me some money. Because you guys continue to do business as usual. Nobody took a pause to say that man's life is so important that we need to find out what happened to him so it doesn't happen again. Who has done that? It's been business as usual here in the state of Texas. Yet 12 men has walked off your death row. I mean, when is enough going to be enough to where we get serious and say, let's find out what's really going on? I mean, we can pause this thing. If you don't want to abolish it, we can pause this thing, find out what's really going on, fix those things so that you don't have another Anthony Graves. But as of right now, you're going to have more and more Anthony Graves because we're doing business as usual. Thank you, sir.
Mr. Graves,
take any questions.
I apologize again profusely. Not that anything that we say or do really is going to make up for the loss of your time and your children's time with you and so on. Where was your conviction? What county?
Burleson County.
Burleson?
But Somerville, Texas, which is Burleson County.
Okay.
A county I had never ever been in.
How long ago was that?
That was in 1992 when I was arrested. I had stayed in jail 2.5 years begging for a trial. Finally, after they convinced this man to lie on me, they took me to trial in 1994. I was convicted. I was sentenced to death, and I stayed down there till 2010. Even though the man who lied on me on his gurney in 2000 told the whole world that he lied, that Anthony Graves had nothing to do with this case. And it still took 10 more years and 2 execution dates before I was able to come home. We got a problem, man. And I'm asking you guys, fix it for us. Fix it for us. That's all we ask. As citizens of this state, please fix it for us.
How were you able to, or your lawyers, how were you able to get the information, evidence, if you will, to overturn your conviction? Like what, and I don't mean like the legal process, but ultimately, what was it that allowed you to get the evidence? Yes, sir.
It was a prosecutor. See, I went through 10 prosecutors. Because when my case was overturned and I came back to the county, lo and behold, the judge that was now on my case was the daughter of the judge that sentenced me to death. And she pushed for the case to go to trial, even though the Fifth Circuit had ruled 3-0, egregious prosecutorial misconduct, talking about the witness that falsified his testimony. She had now granted the prosecutors to use that evidence that they said was perjured. So I stayed there 4 years and 3 more months awaiting a trial for a crime I did not commit because they was refusing to acknowledge the truth. And there was a prosecutor, Miss Kelly Siegler, out of Houston, Texas, who was known for the death penalty. She has put 19 men on death row, got my case, and as she said to me, Mr. Graves, I came back to put you on death row. When I started reading your case, and I read through all the boxes, I went from there's absolutely no evidence to, oh my God, this man is innocent. And she said, but what I did, I'll call each one of my investigators in one at a time to ask them about this case. And every one of them told me that man is innocent. That man is innocent. But the thing is, they already knew this. It became political. My life became political. They was going to kill me to save the day, to say the truth. They didn't want nobody to know what they had did. Because why? You might be thinking about abolishing the death penalty if you knew just how egregious it was. So they hid it from many years until this prosecutor got on board. That's how I was exonerated. It wasn't DNA. It wasn't DNA. And by the way, it was a lie that took my freedom and almost caused my life. No corroborating evidence. Just one lie. That's all they brought. And I lost 18 years.
What was the charge against you?
Capital murder. Murder of 6 people.
Wow.
4 children, a teenage daughter, and a grandmother. How you think I had to live with that, knowing I didn't even do this, but society sees me this way for 18 and a half years. And then I get out, and then everybody continues to do business as usual. I mean, my life is important. What happened to me should concern all of us enough to stop this. And that's why I'm here. I'm asking you, on behalf of the citizens of this state, really, the death penalty has worn out its welcome. We need to stop it. Because whether you believe in it or not, as I say, that's between you and your God. I'm not here to judge. I am saying it doesn't work. Look at the numbers. I'm 138. That should be important to us. If what I know, that if 138 people would have been executed that we once sentenced to death, we know for a fact today we would have murdered 138 innocent people. Doesn't that concern anyone? So, as I say again, thank you, Chairman. On behalf of this state, please take this in consideration.
Thank you, Mr. Graves. Representative Shaheen.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Graves, thank you for being here. Your testimony is very powerful, and it's helpful for us. The exoneration numbers, you said you're 138, but then I think you threw out another number. What is 146? What we're up to now?
Nationwide, yes, sir.
Okay, and exonerated off the death penalty?
Off the death penalty.
And do you have a Texas number?
12. I think I'm 13.
So you're the 13th
From Texas.
individual that was on death row in the state of Texas found innocent.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir. And I do know that we killed several that were innocent. I know that for a fact, whether you want to believe it or not. I was there. And we're killing innocent people. Not a lot, but one is too many.
That's right. Representative Leach.
Yeah, Mr. Graves, thanks for being here. I know you and I have spent some time together in the past, and appreciate you being here again to testify and just taking up the banner for the cause of wrongful convictions. And tomorrow on the floor of the Texas House is going to be House Bill 48 by Madam Chair McClendon, which I'm proud to join author along with Chairman Herrero. And all this bill does, as you know, is creates a commission to look into the causes of wrongful convictions and to make recommendations so that these problems can be fixed going forward. You're exactly right. One innocent person convicted, or in my opinion, even locked up for a crime that they've not committed is one too many. And we conservatives. I'm a pretty conservative guy, and I'm very pro-life. I'm pro-life, like I like to say, from the womb to the tomb. And I think one of our most basic duties as government is to protect innocent life, and this is a perfect example of how we can do that, how we should do that. I'm also for limited government, and I think that there's no more egregious instance of big, out-of-control government than a government that takes away the rights and the freedoms of people that have not committed a crime. And so I just want to commend you and encourage and affirm you for your work on this. It baffles me, literally it baffles me, and it angers me how some members of this legislature, some whom I spoke with today and who I assume we'll hear from tomorrow, how they can be against a simple commission established by this legislature to lift up the rug and to put it in the corner and to find why this is happening and to ensure that it doesn't happen again.
And they never lost a loved one.
Yeah, you're exactly right. That's what I told one member I talked with today. I said, you need to go meet the family of Timothy Cole and the Graves family and Christopher Scott and Michael Morton and all these people who I've gotten to spend a lot of time with. And I've heard their stories. And every Texan needs to hear these stories. And the work you're doing on this issue, we may disagree on whether we should have the death penalty or not, but I can dang well assure you that we can agree that any person that's wrongfully convicted and put on death row, that's one person too many, and that we have an obligation, a legal and a moral, I believe, a moral obligation to fix it going forward. And so I look forward to a good debate on the House floor tomorrow. I can't even believe we're having a debate on it. Representative Dutton and Representative Farrar and Representative Simpson and Herrera are going to help us on the House floor tomorrow, try to get this bill passed. And I just want to encourage and affirm you for the work you're doing on this.
Well, thank you, sir. I know it's very important.
Thank you. And I failed to do this earlier, but Representative Leach has been with the committee. And I don't mean, this is more of a procedural thing, Mr. Graves. So let me respectfully respect your time. So do we have any questions or comments, members? Thank you, Mr. Graves.
Thank you, sir.
And